7 a.m. Feet slam against the wet earth as morning dew kicks up behind him. Each step echoes with purpose. He's not just running, he's preparing. Breath steady, pace unwavering. 10 km run. The road blurs beneath his feet, but his focus sharpens. No one watches. No one cheers. Still, he runs like survival depends on it, because maybe it does. 12 p.m. A dull thud, then another. Sweat flies off his brow as fists crash into the padded helmet. Ha! Head strikes, measured, violent, relentless. Again, 500 times. No shortcuts. Pain builds, muscles scream, but he doesn't stop. Each strike is more than training, it's defiance. Against fear, against weakness. He doesn't flinch, he's sharpening his will into a weapon. 5 p.m. Red shoes scrape the floor as he ducks under a punch. Then counterattacks, fluid, clean. The coach watches, nodding. He's improving fast, each motion drilled deep into his body. Body target reaction drills. 50 reps, 3 sets. His fists blur. Coach yells. Faster. He's soaked in sweat but focused like a blade. Every movement now, reflex. Every drill, one step closer. And for the sake of repeating this routine for 14 days, I handed in my resignation letter without hesitation. No plan, no backup. Only one goal in mind. Someone asked me once, did you suddenly go crazy? I didn't answer. Because honestly, maybe it would have been easier if I had. If I could just blame it on madness. But I wasn't mad, I was focused, obsessed, even. Every strike, every drop of sweat. I wasn't preparing for life. I was preparing for the end. The door to the end of days has opened. A message flashed before my eyes. This is not a drill. This is the start. It wasn't a warning. It was a countdown. The world is ending soon. That much was clear, and I was the only one who saw it coming early. So I trained, not for strength, but for survival. The girl's hands trembled. She wasn't athletic, never liked gym class. Now her life depended on moving. Run, squat, push up, sit up. 1 hour to survive, or die. Red panels appeared across the world. Each person received their task. Not a request, a command. Quests triggered instantly. Voices screamed, what the hell is this? But no answer came. A man blinked in disbelief. Official reality alert. He couldn't tell if it was real. But the glow in his hand, the pressure in his chest, this was no hallucination. 15 days ago, everything changed. A digital voice counted down. The world froze. The numbers dropped to 6 seconds. No turning back. No one would ever forget that number. The screen pulsed with time. A red storm of digits. 0 hours 0 minutes and 6 seconds. That was all that remained. No warning, no delay, just seconds before the system began. Time left until the end of days. 00 hours, 00 minutes, 06 seconds. The countdown wasn't metaphor, it was mechanical, unstoppable, precise, and when it reached 0, the world would fall. He adjusted his cuff and looked up calmly. Damn, I thought I still had more time. While chaos erupted around him, he remained still, the only one prepared for this. A flash of lightning cut through the sky. Screams followed it, everyone ran in terror, but he didn't flinch, because fear was expected. He had already made peace with it. The system message repeated over and over again, behind you, behind you, behind you, but no one understood, not until the moment the shadow loomed above them. Too late, he turned, and it was already there. A massive figure, eyes glowing red, its mouth stretched wide, a growl like thunder ripping through flesh. His eyes shook. This can't be happening. His brain refused to accept it. He hadn't even finished reading his quest yet. The message kept blinking in front of him. Special reality alert. That's what it said. He didn't even get to run. It was real. The quest, the warning, the consequence, the monster, and now, his end. It lunged with broken limbs, skin rotted and gray. Eyes wild, fangs bared, clothes torn. It wasn't just a monster, it was someone who used to be human. Now, completely lost, he narrowed his eyes. There's one here. Amid the confusion and panic, he stood still, focused. His eyes scanned the crowd, searching not for safety, but for anomalies. The others hadn't noticed. They screamed and pointed at the red alert screen. But he saw more. The clues didn't add up. Monsters weren't just appearing, they were already here. Lee Hyun-sung, 29. He read the message again. The mission was supposed to be equal. Same for everyone. Then why had that man already been attacked? The rules didn't match the scene. Something was off. He looked around slowly. There were no random events in a system like this. Only overlooked patterns. He adjusted his collar, calm. The red light pulsed against his cheek. He knew fear would blind most people. But not him, he was trained for this. She's coming fast, a zombie, but her body's not fully decayed. Still, I can't risk anything. Stay calm. One wrong move and I'll be infected. Just keep distance. Wait, she's trembling? Those eyes, they don't look mindless. Is she afraid? Or begging? Could there be something left inside her? No, that's dangerous thinking. Focus. Is it asking for help? Even after turning, some monsters retain fragments. That's why they're more terrifying than beasts. They know pain. They remember who they were. But they still kill. I'm human. That's a monster. This isn't a story with hope. If I hesitate, I die. I wasn't trained to offer mercy. I was trained to survive. But why do those eyes feel so familiar? They're not empty. They're scared, crying. Why does my hand tremble too? I can't help a monster. Even one with human eyes. That picture, it's her family. They looked so happy. A daughter, parents, maybe siblings. Was this what she was protecting all along? Even after turning, she held onto that photo. I have a family back home. Those words, were they her final thoughts? Or her soul speaking through what remains? That fragile voice broke through the silence like a scream. What am I doing? Why does this hurt so much? She wasn't attacking, she was clutching that photo, shielding it even as she rotted. What kind of monster does that? Core crystal recognized. User qualified. Once original gold dies, will detach and transfer. What is this? Her core? It's transferring? What even is this ability? She stayed aware until the end, even after becoming a monster. And now, I even got a skill from it. A memory, a moment, burned into this crystal. What did I just inherit? But what was this tissue holding fully? This wasn't just an ordinary crystal. It's encoded with something, some kind of system data. Skill acquired. Compassionate link. It's as if her feelings themselves have left a mark. Do skills carry emotions too? Memories like a residue? Come on, gee, get a grip. You can't spiral every time something gets too heavy. But why did it feel so real? Urgent news. Local networks are now confirming strange towers appearing across the globe. These black stone structures are being called the unknown towers. Experts still can't identify what they are made of or where they came from. Some say they've risen overnight, and that they weren't there yesterday. Is this just the beginning? These towers, they look like something out of a nightmare. Massive, looming, as if watching us. If those things are connected to the monsters, then the entire world is in danger. Was everything that happened just the prelude? The apocalypse, has it really started? The explosion came without warning, flames bursting through the window like the breath of a dragon. Heat surged forward as if trying to swallow the entire room. My instincts kicked in. I threw myself back just in time, but the force nearly knocked me off my feet. What? My voice caught in my throat as I turned toward the chaos outside. People were screaming, running. A red-haired man shouted over the panic, motioning for others to follow. His voice was drowned out by the sound of destruction. The building across the street was crumbling, smoke rising from the wreckage like a funeral pyre. In the distance, shadows moved through the flames. Not human, not even close. It wasn't just a fire. It was an invasion, and the world we knew, it was burning right in front of our eyes. The tower pierced the sky, rising like a monument built by gods, not men. Cracks formed at its base, glowing with eerie energy. The ground trembled beneath its impossible weight. Lightning danced around the spire, striking in rhythmic pulses. Cities watched in silence, unaware this was no miracle. It was a signal, a harbinger of collapse. The beginning of the end. I stood on the rooftop, heart pounding, fists clenched. I knew this moment wasn't a dream or illusion. This was real, and the world was shifting into something unrecognizable. If this was destiny, then I'd face it head on. I wouldn't run. I wouldn't break. Whatever came from that tower, I would survive it. No, I would conquer it. Silver Goblin's pill. Once consumed, you will obtain? -1. The words glowed ominously on the panel, pulsing like a heartbeat. My hand trembled as I read it again. I didn't know if this was the right choice. My instincts screamed against it. But hesitation had no place in a world like this, not when every second meant survival or death. This is the only time I'll be able to do something as crazy as this, I whispered to myself, gripping the strange pill tightly. My fate lay in that gamble. I swallowed it. A chill surged through my body, like ice seeping into my bones. Light exploded in my veins, blinding and wild. My heart pounded like war drums. I gasped. My eyes widened. Blue circuits spiraled into my vision, symbols, runes, power I couldn't begin to comprehend. My consciousness expanded, like my soul was syncing with something greater. You have obtained Sage's status window. Skill. Rule the map. Trait. Rate of survival x3. A storm of glowing cards surrounded me. I wasn't just a player anymore, I was awakened. The air pulsed with strange energy as a glowing card floated before me. My hand reached for it instinctively. The moment my fingers touched it, the light intensified violently. Blue particles swirled into form, a book. A shimmering tome of pure data. It hovered before me, pages fluttering as if caught in a digital breeze. My heart skipped a beat. A book? I murmured, barely believing it. But this was no ordinary book. Its cover glowed like circuitry, and every page hummed with unreadable runes and arcane programming. Suddenly, it opened on its own. Blinding light spilled from between its pages. I staggered backward, caught between awe and terror. My body trembled, yet I couldn't look away. The pages turned on their own, faster and faster. Symbols and diagrams flashed into my brain. I wasn't reading, it was being uploaded into me. Knowledge beyond comprehension invaded my thoughts. Guide. This book is your tower guide. Time is limited. The last letter will be read in 5 seconds. Lessons absorbed in this state are permanent. And then, blankness, silence. So, I consumed the documentation of the guide. I gave up on hesitation, fear, or pretending to be ordinary. I accepted the job, the mission, the awakening of something deeper. But, the door of the end has opened. I stepped into the unknown forest, light piercing through the canopy. The world looked peaceful, but I knew it wasn't real. This is the end, or maybe the beginning of a nightmare disguised as a new start. Still, I had no regrets. I clenched my fists, prepared for what came next. The game starts now. An alert echoed in the air. Starting the tutorial, the aptitude test has been completed. The system scanned my choices, my fears, my resolve. Based on the analysis of the data, you have received the most suitable class. A sharp sound burst out of nowhere. Your class is Combat Swordsman. I took a breath. This is, a system notification appeared. Open the status window for more details. Without hesitation, I reached out, activating the window that floated before me in glowing light. Panels unfolded in mid-air like magic. Name: Han Ji-hyuk. Class: Combat Swordsman. Level: 1. Strength: 11. Vitality: 7. Sensory: 8. I stared at my stats in disbelief and awe. I slowly drew the massive sword on my back. Its weight felt familiar, as if I was born to wield it. A swordsman? So this is the power of the tutorial. Then the next command came. Please complete one of the 2 missions. The glowing words pulsed in blue. Slay 10 goblins or rescue 3 hostages in the dungeon. Is this a game or a trial of survival? Either way, the rules are clear. If I want to live, if I want to win, I have to play. And play smart. Some stats in window will provide the guide with the means that are helpful in your current situation. I tapped the interface. The message shifted, pulsing softly with blue light. Use all 30 minutes of the tutorial and kill as many monsters as possible. The second objective will remain locked until the first is fulfilled. So it begins, I muttered. I guess the more monsters I defeat, the better the rewards. It's basically an evaluation system disguised as a tutorial. No room for mistakes. Every choice will matter now. Should I hunt to gain experience? Or explore to understand the layout? It's the kind of system that rewards those who plan ahead, and punishes the reckless harshly. The tutorial starts now. I gripped my sword tightly and moved with precision into the forest. Every sound, every movement, I had to read it all. Survive or die. Then, in the clearing, I saw it. Huh? That's a monster? It looked like a small fox, glowing faintly. LV.1 horned kitsune. It's cuter than I thought it'd be, but deadly? The small kitsune twitched, and then its body expanded with rage. Crimson energy flared. Quote. Question mark exclamation mark quote. My eyes widened. It roared and lunged, claws bared. I raised my sword, heart racing. Grah! It screamed. I waited, just a second more, then stepped aside. My sword technique activated, slicing clean. Basic swordsmanship LVL. 1. Shimmered in the air, glowing with power. Slash. The kitsune flew back with a yelp, blood trailing midair. You have killed 1 horned kitsune. You have gained express. My chest rose and fell with shallow breath. It didn't feel good to kill something that small. But I had no choice. I didn't want to die, not here, not now. Survival meant everything in this world. Basic swordsmanship really is sharp. I murmured, but my gaze hardened. I only have 30 minutes left. If I don't move quickly, I won't gain enough to survive. That's it, I muttered, feeling my instincts sharpen. Aim for the core, don't hesitate. I dashed in. My blade arced like lightning, slicing through the kitsune midair. Blood burst forth. With a loud thump, it landed hard. I didn't pause. Another one lunged. Damn, two at once? My arm moved before thought. Steel met fur. Sparks flew. The beast shrieked. Ki. The creature exploded into pixels of light. You have obtained Express. You are now level 2. You have recovered HP and MP. My chest rose with steady breath. The skill bonus prompt for your martial stat will now be applied. Please check your status. Level 2 already? I whispered. So this is how fast growth happens inside this tutorial. But more enemies are coming. I can feel it. My grip tightened around the hilt. I turned and saw her. A girl in red, eyes wild, heading straight toward me. A surge of crimson light flooded the sky. You will receive Express. The reward of survival is the promotion of one's power. Quote ? Quote. My body trembled as blue text boxes emerged, adjusting the player's level. You are now level 1. I blinked. What? The weight of knowledge. You now have access to basic systems and stats. Then, another box appeared. Because you survived the trial, a growth system has been granted. Please check the beginner's manual. What? Already? My voice cracked with disbelief. That's crazy. I didn't even defeat anyone in that chaos. My mind raced. Then how can I level up, then? I stared at my palm. Damn it, why won't you let me grow stronger? Suddenly, a status window. Huh? I leaned closer, eyes wide. A glowing panel floated before me. Wait, name. Kim Jin. Level 1, class, none, beginner. Stats, strength, 6, stamina, 5, agility, 5, dexterity, 5, intelligence, 8, constitution needed. My thoughts trailed off as I scanned the details, realization dawning slowly. Why do I still have points? His eyes locked on the glowing interface. Remaining points. 2. That doesn't make sense. I already used some. Confusion gave way to realization. If what I'm thinking is correct, he muttered, a chill running down his spine, this isn't a penalty. He turned toward the stats panel, thoughts racing, heart pounding harder. With a smirk slowly forming, he whispered, it could be an overpowered bug-like ability? His eyes sparkled with excitement. A glitch in the system might be his biggest weapon.